Redo it. What's up, everybody? Wait, are we?
It's
Are we?
actually
Are we?
good.
Can the people hear us?
What's
Can the
up,
people hear us?
everybody?
They can hear us. What's up, guys? What's up, guys? I made a joke about how there's a shark behind Plup, and then I asked him what kind of shark it was, and I think we discerned that it's probably a great white, but it also might not be. If anyone in chat wants to chime in on that, feel free to do so.
Nice recap. Let's go.
Thanks.
You're pro at this.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys already know what it is. Again, it's going to be !radio mail in the chat. We are going to be taking your questions, your hot takes. Obviously, there's a lot going on in Melee. I had the pleasure of watching a bunch of Plup this weekend. So that was super dope. And there's going to be a lot more. I mean, this was kind of the subject of conversation for last week was we're actually kind of entering into a little bit of a streak of tournaments every weekend. There's Pound coming up, Rollback Rumble, the big one. That's going to be the last Summit qualifier. And then Summit 11, which is all bets are off on that one. So, kind of an exciting offline tournaments coming back. It's definitely an exciting time for Melee.
Yeah.
So !Radio Melee, come in and ask us your questions. Give us your hot takes.
Yeah, the Gamo people were actually like a little bit annoyed because I had to run my event at the same time. But like, my event was like a long time coming, and there were so many events almost every weekend. So yeah, what can you do, really?
What can you do? Yeah, it happens.
Do you think there's like long-term like beef there between TOs or something like when that happens, or do you think it's fine?
You think they just hold grudges the whole time?
I don't know. I mean, maybe like I remember there was like something with the calendar where TOs were using that to purposely undercut each other. So I don't know what the TO world's like.
Spicy.
So
I don't know.
TO world's cutthroat. Damn.
Yeah.
Us players have it easy. We're just like, I'll play in this tournament. Why not?
Yeah.
But the TOs are just like, there's so much more going on. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'd like to think us commentators don't have any beef with each other, but you never know. You never know.
You should start beef. Make it more interesting, dude.
I'm down.
How would that work?
Just be like, I got into Summit and you didn't, and that's where you start off, dude.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm a Summit commentator.
You say nice back air too much. I think you rely on that line.
Oh, you're just targeting Vish now? Okay.
Are nicer than the back airs. What do you think about that? All right. Balls in Vicious Court.
Damn, Vish.
Balls in Vicious Court. I cast the first stone. There you go. Things are heating up in the commentary world.
The back airs actually were bad. What's up, Vish?
They were not that great. They were average at best. Slightly above average, maybe. Yeah, but dude, it was awesome. I wanted to ask you a little bit before, I'm sure people are going to have a lot of questions about, honestly, actually, I have no idea. People ask questions about every little thing that you could never, ever predict. But have you been grinding for Summit? Have you been, because you looked super hot, I would say.
Yeah.
Plup Showdown. Have you been playing a lot? Like, what's your, I don't know, routine or whatever been like?
What's your life super like? Whole lot. I've been grinding a bit more recently. Like since SCL happened, or sorry, before SCL, I did not practice very much at all. Then like once that hit, I was like, all right, I want to get into Summit. So I super grinded super hard for that. And ever since then, I've been kind of like on and off a bit. But again, right before this tournament, I started grinding too, or tournament/event.
Right.
And yeah, I felt like I was playing pretty well. I don't think I like really fall off super hard as long as I just kind of maybe play a couple hours a day before the event.
That makes sense.
So your routine, you don't feel like you even need like 2 weeks to get into form or to prepare for people. You're just like, oh yeah, as long as I'm playing like a day or two before or something.
Yeah, I just play unranked and just make sure my hands work and my controller is good. Yeah.
That makes sense. I was watching your VOD the other day with just you playing matches against Zane for however long, and that was super fun to watch.
Oh yeah, that was a good. Yeah, Zane's been messaging me for like months now, and I finally let him play me for once after I dodged him for like literally 3 months.
Oh,
yeah, that was fun. That was a good tournament.
That was a good. Yeah, those were really dope matches to watch for sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of tight. Like I feel like for a long time, like with the SCL saga or whatever, it was like you kind of saw pretty much the same people winning, and it's like going to Summit, it kind of finally feels like the field is kind of opening back up a little bit. And I think it's going to be a super fun event also just because we haven't seen each other in forever. It's the first offline thing. Are you excited for offline in particular? I don't know where you stand on like, some people I think are like, they're super down to play online tournaments. Some people are like, it doesn't feel as real. It doesn't feel as good.
I think so. My take on online play is that it's pretty much just as good as offline, almost. So, like, say somebody played another person with 40 ping or whatever, I'd be like, yeah, that's a legit win. Good job.
Yeah.
I don't consider that any really different than a offline. But I guess me personally, I've been taking offline or online much less seriously. I just can't really get my heart and soul into it or something. I don't really know exactly why, but I can't take it super seriously.
Yeah.
But yeah, to answer your question, I am super excited for offline though. I'm definitely gonna try a lot harder because offline's back.
That's dope. That's really cool to hear. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think for a lot of us, it's like, it's just the fact that, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I think not knowing how seriously people are taking it, whereas like, you know, like Mango was saying, for example, when he went to Zane's place for Octagon, it was like, he would like make like if he made a tech skill flub or whatever, there was this kind of sense of like, there's no Johns or whatever. Cause it's like, you can't say, you know, you know, it could have been a lag spike or it could have been this, that, or the other. It's like, I know this is the form of competition that we eventually are going to have to care about.
It is nice blaming something on your losses though, right? It's fine, whatever.
For sure. We got to go back to blame our controllers.
Online sucks. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But now I have 2 good controllers, so I can't even blame that.
That's tough, man.
That's good though.
It's like if I lose, I'm screwed. I have no excuses. Damn.
That's dope. Happy that happy to hear you're feeling pumped about offline though, because I mean, me too. I'm just excited to see everybody again. You know, I've been cooped up for God knows how long.
Yeah.
And ready to get unleashed again. I think we're about PP. I think it's about time we bring in some of our callers.
Sounds good to me.
See some really lovely questions in the Discord already. Again, one more time, if you are interested in talking to us live on the air, you'll see how this works in a second. But it's going to be ! Radio Melee in our chats. Mm-hmm. For sure, me and PP's chat, and if Plup's moderator, whoever it is, did their job, then Plup's chat as well.
They might
have the command set up by now. Might have it set up. All right, let's bring on our first caller. Looks like it's SouloftheMedley. What's up, SouloftheMedley? Where are you calling in from? I can't hear his meeting. Oh, there is.
Hello.
Hello. I'm calling in from northern Kentucky, which I noticed. We don't have there we go, smashing from what I've been able to find, but
you're gonna change the game.
Hopefully. I was gonna ask, speedrunning and Melee have a somewhat similar rise together in popularity. I was wondering what games, specifically games with massive speedrun popularity, do you think have the precision and freedom of movement and accessibility that Melee has?
Do you have any takes on that? Like, do you have a game, that you've had in mind?
I have several. Well, obviously one is Super Mario 64. So
you got to give it to Super Mario 64.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shout out Stormata who speedruns that now.
True.
One that I think would be a sleeper pick is Mario Kart Wii.
Really?
I've heard a little bit about that.
Is that like one of the best Mario Karts? I thought it was all about Double Dash. I thought Double Dash is what everyone likes.
Double Dash is like what Mango loves, I think. So no, everybody loves it.
Okay, is that why? All right,
that's kind of how it works.
I think my sleeper pick, or not even a sleeper pick, is Super Metroid because it has a lot of similarities. Mm-hmm. Super Metroid actually has aerial interrupting. Fun fact.
Really?
And it also has, it's got like a bunch of really dumb little tech in there that is actually quite hard to do. Yeah. And like every single jump you do,
there's no area up. You're not up area.
So what you do is like when she spin jumps, she can make her hurt box or whatever larger by like aiming. So every single time you land, you have to aim to aerial interrupt pretty much to be able to jump faster. There's a lot of cool stuff I think in that game that's like really really technical too.
Yeah,
so that would be my pick.
So I was just gonna. Is that the one where you save the animals, or you?
Yeah, it's that one.
That's the save the. Yeah, I like that one.
It's the whole meme game.
That's the whole meme. My pick. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I just gotta say Celeste. I know it's a more recent game.
True, Celeste is good.
I really like how you guys play that game, PP.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's fun.
Oh yeah, I love that game. I played so much of it.
I feel like Melee players love that game. I like that there's that technique, which is like literally, they call it the wave dash. Because you actually
you wave dash.
You wave dash with
that's our tech. How dare they?
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, that's a wave dash. And then in the game, like in the text, they were like, yeah, this is called a wave dash. I was like, oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. All right. Okay. I was like, carry on. We're good here. As long as you guys know. And I thought that was dope because that was like an obvious shout out to the Melee community. That's like one of the only games where I was like, when I first touched it, I was like, dude, it actually feels as good to like move around in this game as Melee, which is
Oh,
not
yeah.
some. It's not. I don't throw that around lightly. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
The movement is so fun in that game for sure.
So fun. You got what, PP?
Everyone, I mean, I think all the ones I would have said are taken. So I guess I hear good things about Fiction's Breakneck. So I guess I'll go there.
Oh, nice shout out.
Yeah,
Little
let's go.
plug.
Little
Go for it,
plug.
Trick.
Yeah, because
I
he
wanna try
said
that
he,
game.
he bases a lot of the movement on Melee. A lot of people said that a lot of Melee players really like playing it. It feels really good. Other game devs said the movement mechanics feel really good. So while I'm not fully informed about it, from what I understand, it seems like it's in pretty good shape. So whenever that comes out, you guys can check out Breakneck, I guess. Random shout out here. I didn't know I'd be doing, but here we are.
Apparently, Bonfire 10's been like the She player.
Yes.
She's been like speed running it,
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
at least doing some sort of speed run stuff. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of
Yeah.
cool. I definitely want to try it when it comes out. I mean, just if nothing else, because I'm we're all buds with
Yeah,
fiction or
I
whatever.
gotta try the Melee Players game. You got to.
Yeah, got to. It's only fair.
It's fiction.
Fiction. I can't think of. I mean, I would say just in general, a lot of the games that came out around that era are dope speed games, right? Like, a game that I actually think is super dope to move around in that I don't know what the speedrun community for it looks like, but the Mega Man Zero series, which is like it's kind of like Mega Man X, but it's like slightly more in the future and you control Zero. And I remember moving around that game and I was like, dude, I feel like Marth, because like when you dash, he does the exact same like hunched over pose like when Marth dashes.
Yeah, it's
Like,
dope.
ooh, yeah. That game actually has some tech to my knowledge, but I don't know how established it is as a speed game. But so if you're part of your question was games with massive speedrun popularity, I don't know if it is that, but yeah,
I know
think
it has I know it has a following because it has been at GDQ events before.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. I think a lot of games, that's like the cool thing about Melee is like it came out in the like era where a lot of these like really legendary kind of immortal speed games came out, and it kind of has the same vibe where, you know, it feels like if a game like that came out today, the game devs would, I don't know, maybe this is like an oversimplification, but it feels like they might patch out a lot of the stuff that you could kind of go ham with, but because it came out when it came out, it's just like let it rock.
That's kind of what Nintendo did with The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D, actually.
Oh, that's
What did they
That was
patch
what I
out?
was thinking,
Instead, they would keep in a lot of the glitches, but they patched out a lot of the more well-known glitches.
I think they patched out some in the Mario 64 remake as well, if I remember right.
Yeah, but
Are you talking about
the
DS or the
the DS
All-Stars
one?
game?
Yeah.
The DS one, yeah. You can't backwards long jump, I think.
Yeah, but that one had Wario. It was dope. I love that game.
Ooh.
Oh, that is a good
Yoshi.
counterpoint. I hadn't considered that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are so good.
That's so sick, dude. What does Wario do? Can he fart?
He's just big and strong. Nah, he just like punches people.
Slower, but he's also stronger.
He should get to kill Bowser not by spinning around, but just by punching him. Like Wario, you should just get to walk up to Bowser and just punch him.
He might be able to.
Oh,
I don't remember.
That's so dope. I gotta play it now. I didn't know Wario was in it. That's a sell. I have to play Breakneck, and I have to play the Wario version of Super Smash Bros. Or Super Mario Bros. Mario 64.
Yeah.
So this
For
was a
sure.
productive question. Thank you, Soul of the Medley.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you. If you have anything else to add or any shout outs you want to do, now the floor is yours.
Oh god. Shoutouts to the entire Super Mario 64, Super Mario Odyssey, Celeste.
Oh, I
Like
love Odyssey.
those are the 3 big speed games that I started with. They're all
Mhm.
amazing.
Odyssey's dope. I will say Odyssey's dope.
The community is so welcoming,
Mm.
and it doesn't you don't have to own the game really. You just need to have a passion for the game, and you just need to know you can just play through the game.
Dope.
That could be.
What
a
do you mean by
speed
you
run.
don't need to own the game?
Like emulation, obviously, kind of.
Whoa.
Like not. I guess I should
Whoa.
not go that far into
Right.
it, but
Hypothetically.
the community
Hypothetically.
will help you out.
Nice.
I do own Mario 64.
Nice
Hell yeah.
save.
Yeah.
I mean, I do
I
too.
own-
I own every Nintendo game.
I own like 10 copies of Super Smash Bros. Melee. I actually do own like 10 copies of Super Smash Bros. Melee. So
Yeah, I got a lot of copies of Melee too.
I've given Nintendo so much of my money. Just edit this part.
Same. I've actually given Pokemon like at least a couple $1,000s.
True.
Pokemon.
Yeah, not just Nintendo.
Okay. 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 Not Pokimane. That's different.
That is
Oh
different.
dear.
I mean, that's a whole different story right there.
Whole different story. All right. Thank you, Soul the Medley.
Oh, and
Appreciate
one
that.
last thing.
Mm.
Shoutouts to the GDQ event that is hosted biannually each year. Summer Games Done Quick is coming up like next week or something like that. So everyone be on the lookout for that. And that's all I have.
It's a
Well,
good
thank
little
you
plug.
for calling in. Good plugs. Take care.
No problem. You too.
All right. Yeah, I forgot Odyssey. Odyssey's dope. Honestly, like the moment I realized, like when I was playing through it, like this game is dope, is when you like climb on top of that area or whatever, like the first little area where you climb up. It's like in the underground area in the desert world, and you go. There's like a way you can triple jump and get kind of somewhere you kind of feel like you shouldn't be able to get up to, and then there's coins up there that they leave the player as kind of like a.
It's in the
if you
boss
got
room,
up here,
isn't it?
in the boss room, exactly.
Yeah, I remember that. That's great. Yeah,
and I was like, oh, nice.
Yeah, the movement in that game is so well done. They just want you to just do crazy, crazy stuff in that game. That's why I love it too.
It's so good. It's so good.
Dude, what is that shark behind you now? It got changed.
Oh my god, it's a whale shark.
Oh, there we go.
Watch out.
Watch out.
He's gonna eat me. Ish. I don't think they eat me. They only eat plankton.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, they're kind of wimpy.
It's pretty intimidating looking though.
Yeah.
His mouth. Like the bottom part of his mouth looks like, you know, like the red lettuce that's like purple lettuce that has you know what I'm talking about? Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That's what it kind of reminds me of. Whatever, it's fine. Let's just move past this. Let's bring on our next caller. Is this Kout? Kout? What's up, Kout? Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Utah.
Utah. What's your question for us? Okay. This is quite an episode today.
I'm sorry.
I'm having a great time.
Oh my.
All right, Cal, what's your question?
So my question is on the topic of heart, mind, and body players. I don't think that it's conducive to learning. And I've actually been thinking about the play styles in the manner of watching your opponent, watching yourself, and doing the optimal thing. And how looking at that can make you a better player faster. What are your thoughts about that?
I can start.
Please do.
Unless Plup wants to take it.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, heart, mind, and body is like mostly good as a descriptor, like you're saying. I think understanding what you're good at and what you like is important, but I think beyond that, yeah, it's probably not too useful. But yeah, I mean, focusing on the skills that actually get you better, like when you need to look at yourself, which, you know, as you get better is much less, and when you need to look at your opponent or the space between them as you get better or you just want to get better, it's much more. And, you know, playing well, doing things that are good. I mean, that's just always going to be more important. I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, when comparing description versus focusing on things that get you better, it's better to focus on things that get you better for sure. But people at various points usually have to take some time to understand themselves, so the description can be valuable too. It just kind of depends. But yeah, so I would say I overall agree. I'm not sure how valuable looking at yourself really is outside of when you get hit. And even then only briefly, but yeah, I mean, for the other two, yeah, I would say I agree.
Looking at yourself reminds me of when there used to be this meme among like, I don't know, like Fat Goku and Spark and that crew, and they used to make fun of Spark. They were like, Spark has never looked at his opponent once. That used to be what they would roast him for, because Spark would just, I don't know, he'd like, I don't know what, I mean, I think he looks at them when he tech chases them or something, but the meme was like, he just kind of does his Spark stuff and then you die because his tech skill's so good or something. I don't know what. But and he said that he started looking at his opponent and he started enjoying melee less. It just reminds me of that. It just reminds me of that.
Why did he enjoy it less? Is he just doing such beautiful things? He was like, I love looking at me.
I guess, or he realized. I think he realized that everyone else is doing stupid stuff all the time, and he fell out of love with the game.
That's tough. That's tough.
PP, are you a mind player?
I'm not entirely sure. I think that's what most people would say. I think it's fair to say that I am.
Wait, what was the third one?
Heart, mind, body.
Heart, mind, body.
What is a body player? I must know.
Body players are jacked as they are cracked. I think you're a body
Typically
player.
described as a technical player. So it's
You're
all
a
your
body
cracked
player.
foxes.
I did, and hey, I did an episode. I want you to know, I did an episode with Zane. We did the Newlyweds game where it's like they ask a question.
That's right.
So they were like, it was like, what do you think you are, or whatever? And then me and Zane both described ourselves as body players. Actually, we described each other as body players. And then we had a little body moment because we're like, oh, body boys.
Body bros.
Body bro. Yeah. Which is,
Yeah,
sounds a
then they
little-
went it for the chest bump afterward.
No, it was on
That's
Discord.
what
We
body
couldn't-
players do.
Yeah, heart players. Heart players.
Heart
I guess
players.
Hearts from their chest. And
Heart players will like. What do you think
They're
heart
lost to each
players
other.
do? They would just give each other like Valentine's cards or something, and then
oh,
the brain
I
players
kinda
would just
love
like
that.
give each other a nod or something, an understanding nod.
brainy nod. Yeah.
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 I never classified anybody like this, and I'm wondering like where this stuff came from.
It is confusing, and I feel like I struggle to think about where I am and where other people are in this. Because sometimes it's clear, and sometimes it's very not clear. Because sometimes people are like
Right.
two or whatever, you know.
Mhm.
That's where my question stems from, is because I
Yeah,
don't
right.
think that it's an accurate representation of how people play.
Totally. I think it's
Where
fun
did
to
it come
talk about,
from?
right?
I
It's
don't
it's
know.
like at its best, it's fun to talk about. I think you're right. I don't think it's like I don't think it helps anyone get better per se. You know, it's just like a to answer Plup's question, I have no idea where it came from. But I think it's just a descriptor, and I think people like categorizing things because it's fun. But I think you're right. I think it's not necessarily something that's going to make you better at learning playstyles or anything like that. I do wonder about your distinction of watching the opponent and watching yourself and doing the optimal thing, because I think doing the optimal thing, I think you have to watch your opponent before you can do the optimal thing, right? Those kind of come hand in hand, I feel like. Because if you're not watching your opponent, if you don't see what they're doing, like how can you do the correct thing in response to that? You know what I mean? How would
Yeah,
you
fair.
Sure.
how would
yeah.
you distinguish those? Kout?
Spark's just
Um,
vibing.
And Spark's just vibing. On the other side of the spectrum, Spark is just vibing.
He doesn't need to.
So
Sorry.
I think
That's a
that
heart player, by the way.
It
He
definitely
just knows.
depends. Yeah, true. I definitely think that it depends on what you're doing. So if you think of like Mewtwo King back in like 2013, 2014, when he just sits on the edge, that's because he thought it was the optimal thing to do, and then he would gimp you. He doesn't necessarily have to look at his opponent the entire time he's doing that, and I think that these definitely bleed into each other quite a bit, and I don't think that this is like the most fully fleshed out categorizations.
Let me ask you something. Do you have any today in like today's meta or whatever, do you have 3 players, one of each or one of whom represents each of these categories?
I would say Zane watches his opponent.
Okay.
I would say Mango or None. I would say probably more None watches, flipped. Zane watches himself.
Okay.
Mango, None watch the opponent, and I would say someone like Armada, Wizrobe are doing optimal things. The way I think about it is when someone is watching themselves, they're doing safe moves or movement to see what their opponent's doing, and then they respond accordingly. And when you're watching your opponent, you're watching what they're doing, and you respond to that. It doesn't necessarily matter what you're doing as long as you see what they're doing.
Okay.
And then the optimal thing would be a mix of the two, where you see what they're doing and you do the optimal thing for that.
I feel like in all 3 of those categorizations, you use the phrase "see what they're doing."
Yeah,
So I
because you
guess
have to
that's why-
watch. You have to watch.
But isn't
Like
one
it-
of your categorizations watching yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the
so-
categories could have better names, right?
Yeah.
I think I
Body
can kind of
players-
see where you're.
Body players look at themselves because they're
In the
so
mirror.
beautiful. In the mirror.
Yeah.
Mind
Like I
players,
said,
Mind players look at the books.
opponent. Oh, they look at the books.
The books.
Okay.
The books.
And the heart
'Cause they're in the
players
books.
look at their opponents because
Because they're beautiful.
they're beautiful.
Heart players look at
That's beautiful.
at nature, at the scenery. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Oh yeah.
It's all coming together.
Go together. I think there's something there, man. I'm not sure that
Yeah, it's not.
these names are the best.
I don't think
kinda
that it's
see where
fully
you're coming
fleshed out
from.
either. But like,
So
But I
pretty
will
much what
say
you're
this
saying is,
for a bit, and I
So
just
pre-
wanted to throw it out there.
pretty much what you're saying is like you're trying to categorize like how players play, and you think there's like a few distinct
Mhm.
categories and how they
Yes.
perceive the game, right?
Yes.
That's fair.
Sure.
I think that's fair. I think that ultimately one thing I will say is that you use the phrase learning in your or the word learning in your question, and I will say that ultimately categorizing players in general that probably doesn't actually help you get better. And I do think that a lot of improvement at especially lower levels is learning how to be comfortable enough with your movement that you can spend more time looking at your opponent and not looking at yourself and still feeling comfortable moving around. And I think a lot of lower level players do struggle with this. So I would say if there's one takeaway with regards to actually learning, I would say if you find yourself watching yourself most of the time in real combat, that's probably something you want to get away from. That sound right?
Yeah.
PP? You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah. That would be to me. That's the takeaway if you're a player who's categorizing yourself as watching yourself.
Yeah.
Unless you're a body player.
I primarily asked this question because
And
I've
you're
had a
just-
lot of people become really confused on how they're supposed to learn. And I think knowing how you play and then learning what's good about that play style and using that is most effective for learning, which is why I decided to figure out these kind of play styles.
Yeah, that's important then. So I've kind of wanted to shift this a little bit, and I wanted to throw it to Plup for this. I was kind of curious if you had, because I do think categorizing players can actually be useful. I mean, you have to be careful not to be too broad with it, but I was curious if Plup had a system where he thought about people in certain categories, and these don't have to be hard and super defined. But I was wondering if you had any categories for it, and if so, do you find that this could be useful for people to learning, or do you find it more useful to, if you've not played someone before but you know they're good, to throw them into a certain category just to learn how to play against them?
To learn how to play against those types of players, I don't really categorize how people play. No.
Okay.
Although I have noticed one thing, I think Wizzy, Muji King, and Zane are the most similar players for whatever reason. In my head, those three players are the same.
That's interesting.
But
I haven't heard Zane compared to them before. Could you explain that?
It's very hard to explain. It's just the way they play.
Okay, sure.
That's a hard read right there.
Sure.
Just how he plays makes me feel like the same way when I play Zane. I feel the same way as I do when I play Wizzy. That's how I feel.
Interesting. Okay.
Maybe I'm just a hard player.
No, you're a body player. Come back to the Body Bros Club. I miss you.
Oh my. Yeah, I mean, there could be various ways that people will play, just to kind of give this a little bit of something to make this a little more useful for people that are trying to classify themselves. I mean, some people like playing strictly the game more. They don't really this is something you were talking about. They don't really care about what the other person is doing so much, as long as they're saying, if I do this good thing, it doesn't matter as much what the other person's doing because I'm doing a good thing and they're going to have to deal with it. So that can kind of cover you're watching yourself and your optimal player kind of thing. It can have different forms. And then there are people that care much more about the player versus player aspect of it, and they want to really manipulate people. And these are people that are often more likely to be someone that are Mango fans, for example. They like messing with their opponent's head, doing movement against people, and they're shielding, things like that. So like a person that wants to just do good things might say, well, okay, well, just space something or just run up and grab. And someone that wants to play the player more might say, okay, well, what if I get an advantage here and I mess with them, then that could give me more advantage in the future, right? And those are two different ways to kind of look at the situation. So just a quick kind of distinction there might be more useful for some people out there, just to kind of offer something different. And if you guys feel okay about that, that's cool. But yeah, I'm just kind of curious how that sits with everyone.
Yeah, I mean, just how to get better. I think in essence, it's pretty much just, oh, why did I get hit here? What should I do in that situation next time I get in that situation?
Right.
Just
that
kind of stuff. That's what I always did to get better.
I actually do think, speaking in more concrete terms, what I think is really helpful, and this is actually something I did recently with Mango, because we just did it as a stream. It was kind of a fun stream where I was looking at some matches like Mango played on stream or whatever, right? And I thought it was really helpful to be like, okay, this is like the way people talk about Mango. They use very abstract terminology. Oh, he's a heart-based player. Oh, he plays the player, not the character. He's very, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, well, let's actually find spots in the gameplay where he does a certain option that other people wouldn't do. And like, let's look at like why it worked and what Mango did to make it work. And so we took it out of this abstract land and we tried to make it as concrete as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Mango has his opponent shielding the corner. Maybe instead of running in and grabbing or laser grabbing, Mango would do some weird staggered dash dances and try to catch them wave dashing out of shield. And then look, because he did that, he got like a down air in a really good juicy spot that caught his opponent DIing poorly that led to like 80 damage instead of getting a grab and maybe Falco only gets 30% off a grab or, some smaller amount or he just gets to forward throw his opponent off the stage. So Mango's willing to stutter his timer or something to get like a high reward. You know what I mean?
He almost always doesn't go for the first option that people think of. Like he always goes for the second one. Like initially he will always go for the second option. That's what I see when I watch him play.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. And I think talking about it in terms of like concrete, like, oh, now we actually know what Mango's doing that other people might not be doing, instead of just kind of leaving it as this kind of abstract, like, oh, he's very heart-based, he's he's in your head, kind of thing. And that doesn't really help anyone, because then I just hear that and I'm like, cool, I got to be more heart-based. And that, what do I do? Okay, what do I do? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. What do you mean? Yeah. Get heart. Be more heart-based.
Just like it.
Just mix them up more, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Mix them up more. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Heart.
Cool.
Do more
Appreciate
cardio.
you guys this time.
Hey, thank you
for calling in.
Question to talk about.
Do you have any shout outs for us on your way out today?
Shout outs to Hexagon431, the person who originated this idea, sparked my re-interest in learning Melee. Shout outs to the Utah Melee scene. They're hype. They're great. Shout outs to Melee players. You all are great. And thanks again for having me.
Likewise.
Have a good day.
For coming on. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
I still think you're a body player, Plup. I think you're the body gang. Body gang claims you.
Still don't know what that
body
means.
gang claims you. Me neither. All right. I think our next caller is about ready to hop on. Hello, Megami? Megami?
Hello.
Hello. Megami might not be.
Hello. It is I.
Oh. Instead, we're bringing in Swann, I think. Hello, Swann.
Howdy,
Where are you calling in from? Howdy.
I am calling in from Raleigh, North Carolina.
I've been there.
Damn.
Oh, fine.
It's the joke that you're there right now. Don't dox PP. Never mind. I
am there right now. I am in Raleigh. Yes.
PP.
I don't care. All right, fine.
What is your address?
I forgot.
What did you say? What was the answer?
What are your exact Google Maps coordinates?
Man, I wish I had a shark behind me so I could tell you where I actually am, but unfortunately I can't.
Yeah.
I've only got the
shark
silly
and tell me your
closet.
address. I don't get it, bro.
I got the silly closet green screened in. I'm actually underwater
have the
right
coolest
now.
closet imaginable.
Swann, what's your question? Swann, help us out here. What's your question, man? We're talking about sharks.
Yeah, man. So my question is, another E3 has come and gone, and I don't think anyone honestly expected Nintendo to make any kind of Melee-related announcement. I know I don't. The very idea of Nintendo announcing Melee HD or Melee Remaster or Melee 2, whatever, is basically just a meme now.
Right.
But hypothetically, in a world where Nintendo announced Melee HD during last week's Direct, what sort of impacts do you think it would have on our scene? And what are some things the game would need for you to move to it, without regret? And conversely, what are your deal breakers? Features or changes that if they got included, you would be upset about, or you would argue against, or even outright refuse to move?
First thing that comes to mind is netcode, right?
Sure.
Like if they came out with Melee HD and it had 11 frames of input lag, and then they're like, all right, all light tournaments are on this thing now, I'd be like, ooh.
Or not.
Well, I think it would immediately split the entire community, no matter what. Because there would obviously be differences. They wouldn't make an exact port of Melee as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And those differences would be like good or bad according to people. So I think it would be like overall probably a bad thing because what we have with Melee right now is pretty good, I think.
Hmm.
Also, let's remember that it would probably be PAL, and most of the community is on NTSC now too, which would also be a point of contention.
Oh, pal.
I don't mind PAL.
Really?
PAL's chill.
How
Yeah.
about that? How about that?
All right.
Well, I'm a Sheik player. What do you mean? How about that?
No, that's what I'm saying. I think isn't Sheik like the character that's the most affected? Kind of.
Is she
I think so,
most
yeah.
affected?
Yeah, she has a
Damn.
way worse down throw and worse up air.
Oh, the
Yeah,
up air.
the upper one's weird. Yeah, the upper. Why'd they nerf up air?
I don't
It's
know.
like the weirdest
Upper
nerf.
is
It's a better
fine.
combo tool in PAL. I'll tell you that.
Dude, they nerfed Ganon.
That's
You don't
100%.
like
You guys know Ganon's literally like fatty nerfed in PAL.
Yeah, his
Yeah,
forwarder is
the forwarder.
screwed, right?
Why would you nerf Ganon's forwarder? That was like the one thing soccer. I was like, all right.
Dan's
We're
broken.
put on NTSC. This is our final chance to get the balance right. We're putting out PAL next week.
The punch.
He talked to that guy's
punch
brother.
is too strong. Yeah, he talked to that guy's brother on GameFAQs all those years ago. Yeah, I don't know. I think in theory, like if it was similar enough, like if it was literally just PAL, I think it'd be cool. I think like, you know, for me, I mean, I spend a lot of time thinking about like, okay, how do we grow Melee? Like how do we make the game bigger? And I mean, I think it would be potentially you know, it could be a huge influx, right? Of people, depending on how the launch was kind of done. I think you would want to see in a world where it was similar enough, like if it was literally just PAL or something like that, like I think that'd be dope. That'd be the dream, right? If it was just minor changes. I mean, if the netcode was good, that'd be the best. But it's just tough because like just knowing how they are, it just seems incredibly unlikely that it would be handled the way the community would want it to be handled. And I would
Right.
look at it as like, how could I use this opportunity? Like if we were living in that timeline, I would look at it as like, how do we use its launch to like grow the community, but ultimately try to keep it as together as possible, like to prevent as much of the split that Plup just mentioned. And yeah, I think it'd be challenging. I don't know. I think it'd be super challenging.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned deal breakers. To me, what would be the worst and something I just wouldn't want to deal with is anything that lets us express ourselves less. So, I mean, like Plup is talking about not having a one-to-one port. Like, imagine that affects some of the physics in some way, right? Like if we're not able to move as fluidly, if shield dropping is somehow affected, or just whatever, right? Like I don't know what it would be, but if something's affected and we're not able to express ourselves as much as before, I think that even if it's only like a small amount, I think that would just be a no-go for me. And
What looks dope?
I know Plup also was looking very concerned over that. So
What's happening to me?
No, he just
Sorry,
looks
continue.
super cool. He's got like a cool effect on him.
Yeah,
Oh, now you
Sorry
look
about
normal.
that. Yeah.
there he is.
No, you're good. I was enjoying it. I thought you looked cool. So, yeah.
Yeah, you were saying like there wouldn't be a one-to-one port and there might be like movement stuff messed up. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about too. Like what if
Yeah.
they just like, oh, I've always hated wave dashing because they seem to hate wave dashing. So they might just make wave dash have a lot of lag and then it's unusable or they, something like that.
I think there is a world like if someone else takes over the Smash project, like, I don't know, a decade, 2 decades, whatever from now, maybe that ends up being the case where they actually want to try and make one. But I mean, they might not really know how to do it. I mean, even with things they've tried to make esports, they haven't really hit the mark with that. And so there's no guarantee that they hit the mark with that with Melee. And so I think it's almost more worrying if they actually try to do a good job than if they just say, okay, we're doing a big old cash grab with like, silly netcode or whatever. Heck, you Melee players. I think it's way scarier if they try, honestly. And so that's what's more concerning to me because I don't see them getting a full on port unless they bring the community in and then everyone gets NDA'd and things get weird and people worry. Everyone got upset about the 25 that was making rules for the community. How are we going to deal with people talking to Nintendo?
25.
Yeah, man. So
Are you one of the 25?
I was Pog you.
What's the
I
25?
wasn't. It's 25.
There were
Jack
people
gamers.
that were selected. I believe by Blur, which is already a good start. We were selected to legislate, I guess, rules for the rule set for the community, like talking about wobbling and stuff like that. So that's what. Yeah, that was like a few years ago, though. This is not something that happens now. But everyone was big angry. They were like, "Wow, these people are like hidden," and I was like, "You guys would not have liked the Melee backroom very much." But
Oh, the backroom was dope. You get the purple username if you're in the backroom.
Yeah. If only we could have changed our Twitter profile name, we could have gotten away with it. Shucks.
Mm-hmm. That was like the only thing I cared about the backroom. I was like, I wanted to get in the backroom so bad because I just wanted that purple username.
Yeah.
And then I got in, and then I never posted in there once. I just had a dope purple username.
It's intimidating in there, to be fair, but I guess we don't have to worry about that now.
We don't have to worry about it anymore. Yeah, it'd be cool if there was I don't know. I mean, I would say a lot of gaming companies are kind of like over time, kind of gradually becoming more like community oriented or community driven, community focused, where there's a little more. So, I mean, I could see it. Yeah, I could see a future where like, I don't know, imagine like someone from some other game developer, publisher, whatever, goes to Nintendo and they're like really high up and they like kind of change how the culture is at the company. And they're like, well, we want to have more of a initiative. I could see that kind of thing happening. The change would probably have to come from outside. If they worked with the community, I could see there being some positives, but yeah, ultimately the best thing would literally be if they just like literally uploaded the Melee 1.02 ISO to the virtual console or whatever it's called now. And then that's it. It's just Melee's now.
They would just have input delay though.
Yep.
True.
So thanks to that, bro.
Okay, they took out the input delay somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and you did mention Deal Maker. What would make me want to play it? Oh yeah, I'm bringing it back, baby. Waluigi, let's go. I'm trying to hear him all over the place. Once again, let's go. Waluigi stands.
It's like how Sheik says two, but he says what?
Yeah, so Mario always, who's whenever he jumps.
I'm kind of with you, Plup. I'm gonna say it.
Add Ridley. Had to say it. We're adding Ridley.
We're adding Ridley.
Sure, yeah. I'm down.
Dude, you know who I like? You know which character I like? I'm kind of pivoting this into just like what PM character I think is super dope. I want Meta Knight. I love PM Meta Knight.
We banned Meta Knight. We banned him. Sorry.
I know. I used to study your Meta Knight VODs. I literally like that combo you do back in when he had the dive kick down air.
Dive kick was so good.
Oh,
I missed that.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I used to watch your VODs.
I have PTSD from PM Meta Knight. Watch out.
What character do you play?
Ivysaur.
Does Ivysaur lose to Meta Knight?
It's a bit of a rough one.
Is it a rough one? I don't know.
Everybody lost to Meta Knight.
Ivysaur was really good, man. I don't know. I remember Ivysaur peak. I remember like Ivysaur. I was like, all right, this character's cool. Then I saw him shoot a gigantic laser beam at a 45-degree upward angle.
Oh yeah, that's
what I'm saying. 60, and I was like, oh shit, that looks powerful.
No.
Whatever. No, that one's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, just this one.
That one's fine. Yeah. That move is good, right?
That move is
good. Yes, it's very good.
Just checking. Anyway, hope that answers your question, Swann.
Yeah, it does.
Is there anything else you want to add to that?
It sounds like y'all are saying mostly that, best case scenario, realistically, that Nintendo mostly needs to get out of its own way.
Yep.
Yeah,
in the hypothetical case where Melee HD is on the table.
Yeah.
I think didn't Nintendo make like a virtual console 64 a while back for the Wii?
Did
I'm
they?
like 99% sure that happened. If they just add a virtual console of Melee, then whatever, it's not going to like affect anything. I don't think it's just going to have.
There were 64 games.
If they try really hard to make a Melee HD, I do think that would probably be a bad thing in overall.
Mm-hmm. Because we got it good right now. Honestly, we do have it good right now. Yeah, because I mean, I remember for a while they ran tournaments in some places on virtual console Smash 64, but like I think most of the scene went back to just normal. Yeah, like, and it was cool because like you could use a GameCube controller pretty easily because it was on the Wii.
Yeah,
but,
I like that about it.
Yeah, but I think the community largely like went back to whatever vanilla Smash 64.
Yeah,
I think there's been some controversy over that, but I'm not sure enough to where I want to make a statement on it. But I feel like there was some issue with leaving the console on for a while, and it's made the game start to lag after a while.
I remember that. Yeah, that's
okay. Good. Okay, I'm not making it up. Great.
Like a memory leak or something weird.
Yeah,
like a memory leak or something.
So I think there's like a push to go back to virtual, maybe, if I'm remembering right. So I think there's something interesting about that whole case. But I mean, I don't know if that necessarily means that putting Melee on virtual console would be good. I think that's just what is happening over there.
I love that you use the word case.
Thank you.
PPMD. On the case.
I'm on the case.
On
I am
the
barely.
case.
I don't know if this is true, guys, but yeah, I'm definitely on it, man.
PPPD, private
Yeah.
detective, on the
Oh.
case.
Wow.
I'll
If
say
you ever,
this,
if
the-
you need a
Wouldn't
content
it be,
idea,
wouldn't it be
Devin.
private investigator, PI?
Yeah, PPPI.
Oh, PPI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there
the
you go.
case that slipped under y'all's radar is light shielding. I was surprised nobody mentioned that.
What about light shielding?
I don't believe you can light shield. Like the analog triggers are not recognized on any Nintendo console since GameCube.
I didn't know that.
Oh, I just didn't know that at all.
Oh, wow. You were trying to quiz us. This is a quiz question.
Oh,
I'm just-
snap.
I'm just
You're
curious.
quizzing us. No,
Oh,
no,
snap.
you're not just curious. You're trying to quiz us.
Heck, a light
Hey.
shield. No more Marth Killer
All right, well, we
Pog.
failed.
It's a thing in Sunshine too, right? Because you can control like the water spray
Oh, you're
with the analog
nuts, dude.
triggers.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then the
yeah.
port,
Because
you
if
kind
you
of can't.
if you hold all the way down, then you lock in place and you aim. But if you hold partially, if you soft press, then you can move. You can run and gun. Oh, you're
Both
nuts.
knows.
All right, good stuff, Swan. No, you got us.
You got any shout
I
outs
wasn't
for us?
trying to
Swan?
get
You did get
anyone.
us. You did get us, though.
You were
have
trying to get
admit
us.
that.
Well, now I'm embarrassed, man. I don't even know if I'm
Oh, sheesh.
don't know about
Oh,
analog
dear.
I don't know.
Well,
Can we get
I
an
guess I'll
embarrassed?
just have
Can we
to-
get an embarrassed shark behind Plup, possibly?
That one now. Well, now I'm
Yes,
starting to
sure.
look at that shark like it's embarrassed. He's like, you got me.
I usually think of embarrassed people like shrinking up,
Well,
not like
this one,
opening their
yeah,
mouth.
but this
I don't
one's,
know.
yeah, he's. Well, that's just his personality.
Okay,
This
sure.
one's-
He does that for everything.
Not everyone handles embarrassment the same way,
Yeah,
right?
sure. I guess
Yeah,
that's fair, man.
PPGs.
Yeah, you got me there. You heart gamers, man, learning me a thing or two
We're
about
body
me.
players. Get it right, dude.
Body.
You bodies have a heart.
True.
Nah, dude. We're body. Body only.
All
There's
muscle.
no heart. There's all
All right.
muscle.
All
All
right,
muscle.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Even the heart is a muscle, which it is.
Yes, that
True.
is true. That's facts. That's facts. Anyway, Swan, thank you for calling in. Do you have any shout outs for us today as on your way out, gamer?
My pleasure, man. Yeah, I have a couple. I'll shout out the NC community first, and also PP's community, both for being, full of wholesome players working hard to improve themselves
Heck yeah.
and the scene as a whole. And just as an aside, it's been nice to see PP's community come a long way since you started streaming. So
Yes, it
cool,
has.
good stuff. Also, Golden Guardians for going hard on Melee content and promoting the scene. I appreciate it.
Sub to the YouTube.
The YouTube is putting in work. Yeah.
Yeah.
And finally,
Mm.
Dust Force for being the speedrun game most like Melee that
Ah, there
nobody
you go.
mentioned.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Dust Force does. I've never played it. It looks dope though. You're like a little
It is
ninja. You
dope.
like run up walls. You're like.
Yep. You should try it out. You'd love it. You really like it, Toph. I get the feeling you really like it.
He loves it.
I love it. I love
All right,
it.
peace
I
out.
already love it.
Thanks very
All
much.
What's
right,
up, man?
take care, man.
Yeah, man. That guy's jacked. I can't believe he had the analog thing in his back pocket. That guy's so
Dude.
big brain.
I didn't know that.
You think I know stuff
News to
about
me.
not Melee? Cringe, bro.
I
Now that
agree.
I
That's
think about it,
cringe.
though, yeah, I've never like when you try to light shield in ultimate, it just comes as a hard shield. So yes, makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, the Switch controller just does little things.
No analog.
Man.
They were scared of
analog.
analog and its might.
PB, does Marth get better or worse in the meta without light shielding? Because on one hand, you can Marth killer as well, or
Yeah.
whatever.
His
But on
shield
the other end, Marth is
so vulnerable.
Marth is probably one of the characters that uses light shield the most, like as a shield. Because like you see Zane, for example, he puts it up a lot to just get out of pressure.
Yeah, Falco too.
True.
I mean, I guess maybe he gets worse because you could probably still edge guard Marth fine in a lot of situations without Marth killer. It just makes it
Mhm.
easier a lot of times. So probably just not having the ability to mitigate that weakness then would just make him a little bit worse. I don't think it would be
Mhm.
like drastic, but
Right. People would get used to. They'd have to learn how to shield angle better.
yeah.
Yeah.
Power shielding would be so easy.
Yeah. No ADT. That's true. I took the spring out of my R recently. Still getting
Oh
used to
yeah,
it.
I still haven't done that. I only use R for everything, so I can't do that.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in this weird spot now where I shield with L like as I always did, but I'm trying to power shield with R. So when I like power shield a projectile, I'll like hit R and then I like hold L and like transition to L. It's really weird. I'm doing all this
It
crazy
is weird.
stuff.
My brain can't handle that.
I know. Mine can't
I'm a
either.
bad
That's the
player.
problem. I think we got another caller on deck. Arkham? Is your name Arkham? Where are you calling in from?
Yeah, the name is Arkham, but
What's up,
I'm
Arkham?
from Pennsylvania, aka home of British Chic player Borp.
I love Borb.
Yep.
Yeah,
Love Borp.
Borp.
Love Borp.
That.
That's fair.
Wait, Plup, what'd you say?
Can't deny that. He is the greatest.
Can't
I,
deny
thought-
that.
I thought you said. I thought you said. I don't know about that. That's funny.
No, I can't.
That's
He's
He's
good.
the goat.
Yeah.
He's the GOAT.
What's your
But,
question for us today?
My question is, well, I think it's a good timing for a question like this because Metroid Dread just got announced, and we have Plup here. And my question was related to Samus because I think Samus is one of the coolest characters in the game, honestly.
Facts.
But currently she's been struggling for a few years, and my question is, what do we think? What do we think of Samus's possible placement in the current meta? Can she evolve anymore? Is she solo mainable, or should she just be banished to the lower tiers, or just even kept as maybe even a secondary?
Well, when you say solo mainable, do you mean like can win big tournaments with her?
Yeah, I guess kind of, but mostly just like even like maybe she can handle most of the matchups, but maybe she needs like a secondary along the way.
Yeah, I think she would need a secondary. Like when I think of what kind of a bracket Samus would need to win a big tournament, it's pretty impossible. Like they'd have to beat Mango, and I think Falcon's very good versus Samus. They'd have to beat like a plethora of Sheik players. They'd have to beat Hungrybox, who is also good versus Samus in his own right. They have to beat me. Like I feel like it's really hard for any Samus player out there to make
There are
it.
also 3 Falcon players in like the top.
Yeah,
10.
Falcon's also very good versus
Probably
Samus.
have to be 1 or 2 of those
She
guys.
just struggles. Like Samus as a character, I think she's like pretty cool in concept because she just has so many chances to fight you in neutral because she's so tanky, and her recovery is like second best in the game. So pretty much like Samus games will just turn into her getting back to stage and trying to like find one opening, but it's like always at a disadvantage. So I don't know. I like the way Samus plays. I think she's cool. I just don't really think it's possible for her to break into even top 5s or top 8s of tournaments right now.
Yeah, I mean,
It's tough.
I think Plup would be the authority on this one. I think the only thing I can really add is I think there are some Samus players that just were playing her and are not now. I'm not talking about Plup in particular. He has been playing Samus for a while, but there were some other ones that haven't been playing her, and I think that's also affecting her representation. I think if they
totally.
I think if they were to play her, I think that would boost her perception among people more. They'd be getting higher spots than she's been getting now, and that would look a little better. But would that?
Where do you think Samus belongs in the tier list, PP? Sorry to cut you off, but like,
oh sure.
Do you think she? So I put her around like where Yoshi and Pikachu are, but maybe even below them because I actually don't think she has as good of matchups as Yoshi.
Yeah, I've always kind of put her around there. I think, and I've been kind of moving towards putting her a little bit below them too. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. I think it's a pretty fair spot because I mean, some of the stuff we've seen Pikachu and Yoshi do, I just have never really seen a Samus do, or maybe just like
Pikachu just has the speed to like actually characters.
Yeah, speed, and then Yoshi can live a while as well, and then also has some good punishes, has a gimp with the down tilt, things like that. So some interesting. I mean, some interesting things that both of them can do, and the mobility both of them have. I mean, I think is just a real boon to them, and I think that's something that Samus just doesn't have so much. And I think she also kind of struggles just using platforms a lot too, right? Just because being in the air and not having so much mobility. Yeah, so she's very locked in what she can do, and then. You know, like Plup was saying, it's a real grind, and it's hard to get that opening in the first place, and you know, you're just recovering the whole game. So I think it's pretty rough. So I'm certainly not in any position, not that I think so anyway, but not in any position to disagree with Plup here. I think he's perfectly on the money on that.
I will say that the less people play Samus, the more the opportunity arises for like a random Samus player to pop out and do really well in the tournament, though, because she is like a very weird character to fight. So.
And people aren't really
someone grinding her in the background right now. They could just pop out and get top 8 or something potentially.
Yeah, and it's not like people are practicing against her a lot at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
I would imagine.
Definitely not.
Yeah,
I think
that's what I've noticed about Melee.
Is that
Just-
when there isn't representation for a character, like that's when they can thrive?
Yeah, like I mean, not to downplay their skill, they're obviously great, but I'm sure if there was like, 3 Yoshis or like 3 top Pikachus, they would have people would just have a lot more practice to work with. That we wouldn't see Axe and Amza be quite as dominant, but they definitely still be great players. But I feel like Samus is in the range of characters where, regardless of she ends up even in like the lower tiers, she's definitely just weird enough where like you have to respect her.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like I still feel like Samus. Like if I play an Amsa that's not an Amsa, if I play a Yoshi that's not Amsa, or like a Pikachu that's not Axe. Okay, these days there's OKP who, like he beat like Nun and S2J and Bob Big Balls recently, so that's really dope. But okay, like if I play like any average Pikachu I've never heard of, or a Yoshi, versus like if I play a Samus that's not Duck or Plup or whatever, I generally feel like an average Samus or whatever is probably going to be on average a little bit better than your typical Yoshi or Pikachu player. I'm not super duper sure why that is. It could be because the character is more history. I mean, Samus historically more representation.
Do you guys know?
There's like
do you guys know Nut? Samus player?
Nut for sure. Yeah, Nut's
Yeah, he's
dope.
really good.
Yeah.
And he still plays. I ran him unranked a couple times.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then Morse Code Swooper. Those guys didn't work.
Kata.
So, Kata looks really good. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Samus, around Yoshi Pikachu on the tier list, like feels super fair to me. And I mean, Duck was honestly like, just as like the most recent, like person who main Samus. I mean, he was putting up some really, like it seemed like he was on the cusp of figuring a lot of really interesting shit out because like he like had that 3-0 victory over H-Box out of nowhere. That was kind of mind blowing. Because that was one of the matchups where
I missed out. Are you talking about Duck?
there was Duck.
Oh yeah.
It was like I don't think he won the tournament. Like I think it was like
He
the
first
first set of
that
grands.
was the first set of grands, and he lost. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, still, it's like, oh, that's like pretty significant. So like, that's the thing though. Is you would have to win like to win a major with Samus. Like it would have to be like you would have to upset one of 2 of your really bad matchups, like catch him on an off day, and also have a little bit of bracket luck. And you probably have to do it through winners so that you just play fewer people.
Yeah.
Now it could happen, but I think like. It's like to me, it's like similar to Axe winning a major with Pikachu. You know what I mean?
I think she's one of those characters that you just have to play because you love playing Samus. You don't want to like just focus on results with Samus.
Was that you for a long time, Plup? Like, was that just kind of like, was that your,
That was me for a while, but then people were like, that was a long time ago because people were like shit talking Samus and shit talking floaties a lot in general there. So I was like, you know what, screw you guys. I'll beat you with another character.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess you proved him, right? You proved him, and then I guess you were like, okay, now time to get the dub. I guess.
I forget Plup has a Sam. You know what I mean? Like I don't even, and then I'm like, oh yeah, it's like I don't think a Mango is like a Puff player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though obviously for a while he was like the best. Like he retired as Puff while it was the best Puff in the world, which is kind of really wild to think about, probably for new school people. But no, it's a good question. I think Samus is I think if you like her though, like if you're asking this question, like who do you play, Arkham?
I play Falcon because I just think he's a fun character. Granted, I get. Well, actually, I kind of just like sometimes I'll just play like a lot of characters. I tend to go from like Falcon, Young Link, Samus, and also for some reason I'm the only time I feel comfortable fighting Sheik is when I use Kirby, which is kind of sad, but we deal with it. But overall,
your other characters were Falcon, Samus, and Young. Okay.
Yeah, but overall, I think I'm guessing she can at least be used as like a secondary for like a matchup you struggle with.
Yeah, I mean, it really, again, it also really depends what you mean by solo mainable because, like, dude, you gotta realize, man, for a lot of people who like, some people think about this stuff too much because, like, how do I word this in a way that sounds nice? Okay, like most people aren't going to win a tournament. Most people aren't going to top 8 a major in their life.
True.
Right?
One person will win any individual tournament. Fun fact.
Yeah.
Facts.
Right. And so, like, I mean, you can get top 30 in the world probably with Roy. Like Zayn had the results with his Roy to probably be ranked top 30 at one point, right? at like the beginning of the COVID era. So like, I mean, you can probably reach top 15 in the world with a character like Samus, right? Like Duck did that,
Yeah.
Plup did that.
I think so. Yeah,
You know,
it might be a little
I feel
harder
like,
nowadays, but maybe.
Sure.
yeah, I mean, you get what I'm saying. You could get like you could really put yourself on the map as a competitor with practically any character. I would say stay away from some of them, like probably Kirby, Bowser. You're not going to see too much success with those. But like, if you love a character, like
Yeah, I'm not staying away from
Yeah.
Kirby. He's my homie. I'll become best in the world with him. Trust me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good luck.
like this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying good luck.
yeah, you'll need it.
I was just saying, like, this comes up on my stream sometimes, where it's just like, should I play this character? I don't like. Is this character good enough to play? And it's just some characters you just want to play them because they're fun, and you shouldn't like ask for any more than that from your character. Like, if you really want to win tournaments, then sure, pick Fox or Sheik or some top tier, right? But if you just like playing Samus, just play Samus because she's fun and she's cool, and don't try to win every tournament with her because we'll just get depressed.
Yeah.
I will say, I mean, kind of like Toph was talking about, a good strategy to beating a lot of people with characters like Samus is just being better than them. So you can do that for a
Yeah,
lot of people.
totally.
You can do that for a lot of people, a lot of characters, a lot, even some, I mean, certain tournaments like a lot of locals or whatever. But it's just when you go all the way up, like Toph is saying, then you know that's when you have to think about it more. But yeah, I mean, if you like your character, I mean, you can stick with them and get results with them for quite a while. It just kind of depends and what you're willing to do with it, you know.
Yeah, and I guess the term viable character in general is kind of a shaky term, just because people kind of just act like if you can't win all your matchups with that character, they're not viable. But I guess
Yeah.
this is a little bit harder to do that with because she has a lot of ones where it's kind of a slam dunk victory against her. Although
And-
she does have that matchup against Fox where even though I think most people agree she loses, it's like it's just good enough where it's like respectable for her to win that.
You can win. You could catch him on an off day for sure.
Yeah. Like Leffen.
If this was a setup for that, then
I wasn't gonna bring it up.
I wasn't gonna bring it up.
I thought we were gonna make
You
it
guys
to a
talking about
question
me right
without
now?
bringing it up.
no.
Hello?
We're talking about
I've beaten
Hugo's
Left.
excellent
Well, that's me.
victory over Left. Yeah, that was you. It's actually all you guys. That's actually all you guys. I was so proud that Hugo got one too. I was like, all right, Hugo, there we go. There we go. Let's go, Hugo.
Oh my.
Good question, Arkham. Thank you for I like it to talk about Samus. She's dope.
Yeah, she
Good,
is.
good timing too. Timing is half the battle. Any shout outs, Arkham? That you'd like to do?
Quick shout out to the basking shark behind Plup.
Oh, true.
And quick shout out, I guess, to I don't know. Quick shout out to Husband from the good old days of Melee. He's been streaming
Oh,
again.
yeah.
That's random, but I gotta say he's got a tight stream, and people need to respect him more.
Cool.
I'm a fan of that guy. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
Husband. He's been doing lessons with Zane.
Yeah, I actually almost beat him once with Kirby, so that's why I also respect Husband.
Interestingly, I respect him less. But
No, I respect a man who respects a low tier enough to fight him. I'll say that.
I see what you're saying. There you go. There you go. There you go. Thank you, Arkham, for coming on the program.
Yeah, great talking to you guys. Have a wonderful day.
Take care. Thank you.
True, that is a basking shark. It's not a whale shark at all.
What
What's
is it
doing?
basking?
Basking sharks are the ones that just like gigantic filter feed versus the plankton. I think whale sharks do as well, but they have smaller mouths.
What's a whale shark then? Hang on. I'm Googling whale shark. Well, no, I mean, I Googled whale shark and whale sharks' mouths are wider. They filter feed too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both filter feed. Basking shark?
Yeah, basking shark.
Why did
PB,
what,
did I-
what? Oh, go ahead.
Did you ask? Sorry, did you just ask the question? What is he basking in?
Yeah, glory.
And it flew
I
under
don't
the radar.
know.
I just wanted to make sure that's what you said.
Yeah,
'cause I
why
like
is
that
he? What's
question.
his name? Well, I'm curious.
He's basking in the good vibes.
Heck yeah. He
Right?
looks like
He's
a partier.
basking
He
in
looks
it.
like a partier. He does. I will say that.
Yeah, well, he was, but now he's embarrassed. Remember?
Okay.
I forget
can
why he was
switch-
embarrassed. We just decided he was embarrassed at one point earlier. Remember that?
We did decide that. But I guess now he's just the good vibe shark, so it's all good. He's popping off. He could be doing karaoke. We're not entirely sure.
He's the vibing shark.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
the
for
vibing
sure.
shark. Yeah, basking kind of means vibing. right?
Exactly,
If you're
yeah.
basking in the sunlight, you're kind of vibing in the sunlight,
yeah,
right?
you are.
would
Yes, you
say.
are. Yes, you are. That's true. You are doing
it.
that.
Wormlex, we doing any more callers? What's the situation going? What's the situation right now?
I don't see
We
anyone
got-
in mic check, but I
I don't
also
know either,
I
man.
don't know.
I don't know. Okay, I think that was I think we're wrapping up. I think we're wrapping
Okay.
up. We got word from Q. Good
All
questions this week. I wonder, was there anything we wished they asked us? The only thing I wanted to ask Plup, I think I feel like I already got to ask, which was his little bit of his thoughts on offline tournaments and if he's been grinding stuff. Oh, are you playing any Ultimate?
I'm not playing Ultimate. I got a little too fed up on just the online. But I did enter Ultimate at Riptide.
Ooh.
So I'm just going to whip out the Mega Man randomly after not playing for like a year and probably get like top 32 or something,
Hey,
I
that's
actually
cool.
did play Ultimate pretty recently, and I wasn't rusty at all. I will say, like, I was like,
Is that a
I
shot
can
at
do.
Ultimate?
I didn't even mean it like that. No, it's just not that mechanically.
Not even rusty at all. Like, it was so easy to pick up that game.
I don't think I'm that. No, I just meant like mechanically, like if I don't play Melee for 5 days, like I'm like, oh my god, my wave dashes are sloppy. My everything is sloppy. My ledge dash gets me killed instead of giving me glint. Everything's bad.
True.
I side beat off the stage. I can't combo off of up throw. I can't react to slight DI. I can't react, and they tech and I die instead of they die, and it's really bad.
If you just like understand the buffer in Ultimate, it's pretty easy to just do what you want to do in that game. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of want to think of playing it again. I don't know, go to some locals or whatever. But yeah, I couldn't do the online. The online's rough.
It just sucks switching from online Ultimate to online Melee. It's like it's night and day. It's so obvious the Melee is so good compared to it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like buffering moves out like a half second in advance in Ultimate. Oh, get red, haha! Everything feels bad in that game. It just feels bad.
Yeah, I feel it. Yeah, I was just wondering. I don't know. That's cool though. I'll watch you at Riptide. I got I commentated one of your matches at Big House. You know that.
In Ultimate?
Yeah, I commentated you versus Meme. Remember the Yoshi guy?
Oh, the Yoshi player. I like timed him out, didn't I? That was great.
Yeah, I commentated that. It was fun.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good. I thought it was a good set.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was a good set. I thought you played really well. Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I actually watched enough Ultimate that I knew who Meme was, so I was actually proud of you. I was like, oh, this is good. This is like a good win.
Yeah, he's a good Yoshi player.
He's great. You ever play a Yoshi?
Nah.
Before that? Yeah.
Nah. I practice the same way in Ultimate as I do in Melee. I just play unranked. Just whatever happens in tournaments,
That's so dope. Do you actually grind unranked on Slippy?
Yeah.
That's so sick. I hope I run into you one day. God, I wonder if I will. We're so far from each other.
Yeah, if it's distance based, then probably not.
But I mean, I get East Coast people. I swear I get East Coast people. It'll be like 80 ping or whatever. I don't know. I get those sometimes. Could happen. You never know.
It seems like Plup, you just don't get nervous for your competing, or you're just like you just see like, okay, well, I'm just going to be fine, so I could just play unranked. Is that accurate, or do you think like there is preparation you do, but it's just not playing the game?
Preparation to do for tournaments?
Yeah.
I feel like my mindset has come a long way to the point where I just don't care about the outcome enough to where I'm just going to mess up and get nervous. I just don't want to get nervous at events anymore. So you're pretty much right. Yeah. It's not like I don't do like any mental prep before. It's just like, oh, a tournament. I'm going to just vibe out and play my best.
Yeah. I mean, cause at the Plup Showdown, by the way, you guys can go check that out. That was, a really cool event. Plup and Red Bull did just last weekend. I mean, Plup looked really good. So I was just kind of curious, because you played an unusual style of Sheik, much more aggressive than a lot of others, and so I didn't know if there was a certain way you needed to think or feel to get into that. But it sounds like you're just always there. So I think that's really cool, and I just kind of wanted to ask about that. But I guess, well, I'll ask you this other thing then, and we'll kind of see where we are after that. But I saw you were looking at this is a complete gear switch, but I saw you were looking at people campaigning for Summit, and you sure I didn't see you respond to all of them, but I saw you respond to one person. You sure were excited to go there so you could play against them. Would you like to give a shout out to anyone campaigning for Summit or anyone you'd like to play there personally for any reason? I'm just kind of curious.
Why are you putting me on the spot like this?
You can shout out whoever you want. You can shout out whoever you want. I was just kind of curious what you were thinking about the campaign process. You're already in. You don't have nothing to worry about. So
Oh,
kind
I'm
of curious
chilling,
what
yeah.
you're feeling. Yeah.
You know, I've been to every summit.
That's sick.
Really?
Or
Wow.
will be.
That's hype.
Except for, I guess, one of the Ultimate Summits, but who cares about that one?
Oh, sick.
Who should I shout out? Yeah, I did want Ginger to get in just so I could beat him again. That's true. That's what we were gonna do.
You did say that. I was watching the stream because I was worried about getting Plup in time for this. But yeah, you were very much like, man, I sure would love to have a great set with Ginger again. That's what you were saying. You were very excited about it.
You remember word for word. Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, big fan.
Can't wait to have a good set with him.
Yeah.
The whole ginger beef or whatever. I think it's very funny. I'm all about it, but he did say like at some point that he's tired of it, so I've been like kind of not talking about it anymore.
I didn't know that. Apologies.
Yeah, but I thought it was very funny because he did shit talk me first, so I was like, all right, let's do it, bro. I'm down.
Definitely.
I love shit
definitely
talking.
think he started it.
It's hilarious, but
I
yeah,
can't
think
imagine you started that. I just can't imagine a world where Plup comes out as I'm gonna shit talk Ginger today. Fuck
No,
you.
yeah, no. He definitely like just randomly called me lame or something and said I can't platforms all the time on his stream. I was like, you know what? It's on. But you know, it's in the past now. It's whatever.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
That's
Apologies.
I do want Wizzy to come back. I do want Wizzy to come back and
Dude, I
Yeah.
want Wizzy to get in.
Yeah,
Come on,
Wizzy-
man.
Wizzy-
definitely want Axe to get into Summit too. That's my dogs.
Sure.
Axe and Wizzy are my dogs.
Is Axe campaigning?
He is, yeah. He's like the front runner right now.
Oh, dope.
Spicy. You know, I opted in.
I saw your campaign
See my
there. This is
option.
very good.
It's
Yeah,
like, thank you. Thank you.
good.
I put a lot of work into it.
he sure did.
Oh man.
Look, if I get like 10 more YouTube subscriptions off of me opting in, I will call that a great success. Okay,
Oh,
that's my plan.
goodness.
Wow, you are killing it.
Toph on the grind. All
He
opportunities
is on the
are
grind.
for growth. Beautiful. Well, let's go, Toph. Sub to Toph's YouTube, please.
Thank you,
Let's
please.
make
Yeah.
let's make this campaign worth it. Oh man.
I guess that's about it for this week. Thanks for coming on, Plup. This is a lot of fun. And thanks for bringing the wildlife of the ocean.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime.
Oh, look at him. Look, there he is. There he is.
Oh, the show changed again.
Or she is. I don't know. You know,
Yeah,
no
fair.
idea. Yeah.
A beautiful specimen nonetheless.
Beautiful specimen. Everyone who tuned in, thank you for being a part of this. Everyone who asked questions. Again, if you didn't get to ask your question, we saw always a lot of wonderful questions in the Discord. Pop by next week. Every single week, 3 p.m. West Coast time, 6 p.m. East Coast time. We do this every week. You can pop in, ask the same goddamn question because you have no creativity. It's fine. And we might get to it next week, okay? We're going to get to it next week. And we're going to answer it. It's going to be wonderful. We're going to get to talk to you.
Or
live
not.
on
It
air.
might not.
Or
but
not. We might never talk to you.
coming back.
Maybe 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Definitely 2 weeks. I think by 2 weeks, statistically speaking, at that point, it approaches infinity or whatever.
Is that how statistics work?
No, it's
All right. Facts.
Facts.
Tune in in 2
Bye.
weeks. And your question will be answered. Yeah.
Bye.